Okay, I think we have everyone in attendance that has signed up here, so we'll go ahead and start. I just wanted to say good afternoon. My name is Mallory Sykes. I'm the Director of Renew Media. I want to thank each of you for joining us today for our first tenant webinar session about owning your digital storefront. To give you some background, Renew Media is a full-service marketing agency that was founded by BC Wood Properties with all of our tenants in mind. So we understand the importance of marketing in today's competitive environment, and we want to be your one-stop shop for marketing resources. Please feel free to ask questions at any time today during the webinar in your control panel. We will try to answer all of your questions as promptly as possible. At this time, I am happy to introduce our digital specialist, Christina Harrison, as today's presenter. I hope you enjoy. All right, Christina, I'm passing over the controls to you.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Christina, and I will be your digital specialist today. Just a little bit about myself. I have a passion for digital and have been doing this for over 5 years. It is the way of the world now, and educating ourselves in the ever-changing atmosphere is key to gaining and retaining customers. This is an open, laid-back presentation, so feel free to quote-unquote raise your hand with questions. Because we are recording, we have muted this, so please raise your hand and type your answers, and we will be sure to respond to those appropriately. I want you to feel comfortable to ask any questions, big or small. We will be emailing this presentation out to all attendees and make sure it is uploaded onto our website for you as well. With that, let's get started on a digital storefront. So does anyone know what a digital storefront is? Any guesses? Anyone? It's okay. We have a hand. You are right. It is an online presence. Good job, CH. You are so right. A digital storefront is where your store should begin and end. I say begin and end because I am referring to the consumer journey, which we will get to in a minute. This is a place that is open all hours of the day to your business, all the time, to the whole world. Just listen to some of these stats. Let's talk stats for a minute. Did you know that there are 3.5 million searches a day on Google? Think about how many that is. That is enough to fill Rep Arena, which I should interject myself for those of you who are not from the state of Kentucky, which I actually am not. That is our basketball team, which is massive. Their arena, we could fill this over 149 times. That's massive. This equals out to 1.2 trillion worldwide per year. E-commerce is also seeing huge increases as well. E-commerce is the activity of buying or selling products online. And even though all of this is being done online, digital is influencing up to 56% of in-store purchases. Separately from in-store purchases, e-commerce itself represents 10% of US retail sales, and it grows annually 15% every year. Does anyone on the call have an e-commerce platform on their site already? Do you mind sharing the percentage of online sales you see, or if it grows for you annually? It's okay if you don't. That's why we're here. Okay, well, that's okay. We will move on. All of this is just so important because it means we are now having to change where we advertise and where we showcase our stores and their products. We are needing to reach people in different ways they shop, when they shop, and where they shop. And we call this the consumer journey. So what is a consumer journey defined? The consumer journey is the complete sum of experiences that customers go through when interacting with your company and brand. Instead of looking at just as like a part of a transaction or an experience, the customer journey documents the full experience of being a customer. So I'll dive a little deeper into that. Awareness. Make consumers aware of your brand and educate them about the services you provide. Interest. Draw people to your brand who are interested in your products or services. Action. For consumers ready to take action, convince them that your company is the right choice. And lastly, advocacy. Encourage repeat business and let your customers be the biggest advocates for your brand, bringing in that new business. So you heard me say earlier that the consumer journey should begin and end on your website. Think about it like this. When you're interested in something, product, service, anything, what's the first thing you do? We have a hand. You're right, you search it on the Google. So what do you do next? You start, as I call, site dating, which is different from online dating, I'll have you know. It should be, uh-oh, you okay? Advocacy, thank you. So you're visiting multiple product offerings until you find the right one, right? AKA site dating. So then what? You buy the thing you want or schedule an appointment or book something, go to a store, something. And then lastly, on that advocacy stage, you write about it or share it on Facebook, tell your friends, write a review. Tell me, how many times do you read a review for something? Just personally speaking here, I know on Amazon, I always look at the bad reviews, right? Because you want to see how the company handles it, interacts with that person, etc. So as you see, you are already doing the consumer journey, and guess what? It's mostly digital. So why is this important? I'm sure by now you're starting to see why your digital storefronts or websites are so important, right? But here are a few more things I want to say to push this home. Express your brand. Make an impression. What does your homepage look like now? Do you feel like it's you or what you want to get across to your customers? Intro your staff. Especially if you are a medical office or you are offering services, you want people to feel comfortable with that person before they even come to the store, therefore making your staff relatable. Showcase your offerings. Here is your storefront. Make sure all of your products are online and that they have professional photos if it calls for it. Draw in new customers. Help your organic SEO, which is our placement in searches on Google, by having a good website and get off the third and fourth pages of searches, right? We want you on that first page. See all of your products. If you have services that you do, but they're not listed, how will people know? For instance, if there are 3.5 million people doing searches per day, which is what we said earlier, what are the chances that you think someone will just happen into your store and know that you do a product that isn't listed, right? Not likely unless they're a returning customer. Virtual tours. So this is interesting because it's becoming a new trend. The more and more digital grows, people are wanting to AKA check you out as far as my website dating reference. I, for example, when I'm looking at new places to try to go eat, I'm always hitting the Google Photos, right? I want to make sure you're legit before I go see you. Mobile, mobile, mobile. I cannot hit this home enough. How many know that their site is currently mobile friendly? Do you even know what mobile friendly means? The good news is we can help with this, and we're going to chat about the end, how we can kind of do that. So we have chatted about why this is important. So what are some basic maintenance tips that you can do yourself? First, is your information correct? Are your hours right? Address, phone number, or maybe you've grown but haven't added those new locations yet. Have you claimed your business on Google? If you were to search your business or any business, there is typically a box that pops up on the right. It has a picture of a map, address, phone number, and maybe some Google photos that people have uploaded. Everyone know what I'm talking about, kind of? You will notice sometimes in that box it says this business is unclaimed, and it'll ask you if you want to claim it. Definitely do that. If you are needing some insight on this further, you can stay tuned to next month as well when we chat about reputation management, because we're going to hit more on that at that time. Check your links from various browsers. So this is interesting as well. Sometimes your links will break browser to browser, meaning they'll sometimes work on Internet Explorer, but then they won't work on Firefox or Google or so on and so forth. So it's important to make sure that your links on your website work in every single browser format. Minimalize non-essential info. This one gets me all the time because I have a retail problem. So have you ever been on a website that the homepage is just huge imagery, right? And you can't really find what you're looking for, or there's too much text and the message is lost? You want a clean, professional, visually pleasing site, trust me. Which brings me to updating your info constantly. Google loves when you are active on your website. Post blogs, deep link to your social media channels, connect yourself more to reach your consumer wherever they are in that consumer journey we talked about before. And lastly, maintain a database. A website is a great way to start maintaining a database. Whether they fill out a form on your site or your website has a pop-up that asks them how to, for their mailing email address, you can send them coupons later, or they input information on a contact us tab. Start collecting this information to use as an advertising resource for your business later. So we've covered a lot. I'm sure you all are super overwhelmed. You might need some help. We totally understand. Digital is huge, and this is why Renew Media has product specialists that are experts in many different fields. We know all of these businesses have different goals, different consumer journeys, different ways of looking at your digital storefronts, and we can help you through this process and get you headed in the right direction. So your first question is probably like, how do I start, right? Well, for starters, the first step's the easiest. You just call and set up an appointment with a Renew Media consultant, which Mallory, who spoke to you earlier, here's her contact information. Second, because you watched this webinar today, this is the coolest part. We are offering you a free digital audit. A digital audit is where we run an analysis on your website. It'll tell us how mobile friendly you are, what your website speeds are, and expose areas for improvement. Speeds are so important on websites and mobile. For instance, did you know 32% of visitors bounce when a page speed is only 7 seconds? Think about how quick 7 seconds is. I can't do anything in 7 seconds. 9.6% of people bounce when the speed is only 2 seconds. So that's almost 10% of people leaving a website if it takes longer than 2 seconds for the page to load. That's huge. All of this just to say that a digital audit really lays a great foundation to start improving not only your digital storefront, but how you want to start conducting your future advertising efforts as well. So I'm going to take a brief minute. I'm going to look at these questions. Do we have any more major questions? I want to make sure we're answering all of them. I don't think we have any more. Okay, great. So next month, first of all, fist bump. It was quick and easy and painless, I hope, for everyone. But it has been a pleasure talking to you guys. And next month, we are going to look into reputation management. So reputation management, do you claim your business currently? Reviews, how to get more and how to respond to the ones you get. And social management, yes, there is such a thing. And we're talking about all of this and how you can do that for your business Thursday, September 27th at 3 p.m. It's been a pleasure talking you all through this quick webinar today. Renew Media is looking forward to continuing our education efforts and expanding digital knowledge. Next month, we will be covering reputation management as we just went over. And with that, I'm actually going to turn it back over to Mallory to close you out this afternoon. Thank you, guys. It has been a pleasure.
All right, this is Mallory again. Thank you all for coming. We hope that these educational sessions will really help with your marketing efforts. If anyone has any suggestions of different marketing questions you have, we'd be happy to take a look at those and then come up with other ideas for future webinars that will help answer those and clarify any questions. So with that said, I guess I'll go ahead and close this out. Thanks again, and we hope to see you next month.